So let's go to this image here and let's address this auto right here. And auto will do exactly that. It will make decisions about what it thinks the photograph should look like. Lightened up areas in through here, lighten up the sky. It didn't really do anything to kind of increase the overall ambiance of the photo. And I don't like auto. I don't like people telling me what to do. So I'm going to reset that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and then we're going to deal with this problem. So as you can see in the original exposure, the sky was recorded because I would say more than half of the exposure is sky. Let's zoom out. Okay. And this foreground got a little bit dark, right? So you're missing some of your shadow detail, but also I bet we can bring in a little more highlight detail into the sky to make it a little more dramatic. So what we're going to do is zoom in here. And I'm not going to play with the white balance right yet because I'm not sure exactly about what's going on. But let's look at our histogram. You'll see that this is clipped. And this means that part of the photo is kind of blown out. And what we can do is turn on this warning here and this warning here. And this is the highlight clipping warning. And this is the shadow clipping warning, right? So that if you see that red, that means that parts of the image are absolutely red. Are absolutely white, okay? We don't see too much blue in here, but if we saw a blue, that would mean, a little bit of blue right there. That means that that part is totally black. So let's see what we can do after turning our highlight and clipping, shadow clipping warnings on to make some educated decisions. I'm gonna zoom out and drag the highlights down, right? Already, it becomes a lot more exciting. So let's look at what we did. We were able to bring in all of these values, okay? So that was just, and you'll notice what I did to my histogram. I might have gone a little too far, but what I did is it was clipped like this, and I brought it in by just dragging it to the left. Okay. I'm affecting the highlights and the whites. If I'm not sure exactly which one to try, just go up to the histogram and play with both. And now the next thing is I want to see if I can open up some of these shadows. So I'm going to grab the shadows here or the shadow slider here and drag it to the left. And notice how it opens up the foreground. So the foreground now has detail and the background has more detail. So let's look at that. How do you know when you've got a good edit? When you have a rich black, a nice white, white with detail, black with detail, and a good range of values. In this image, I've got all of this tree information open. I could even take it further if I wanted, but I think that's way too far because this comes around to what kind of effect do I want? How do I want it to feel, right? I want it to feel a little mysterious still. And then you could also bring the whites down a little bit if you wanted it to feel even more mysterious. You could increase the black, right, to make it a little less contrast, or see if you go too far with the black, that means that that part will now be pitch black. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to leave that right around there. So again, let's look at the before and after. This one had not a lot of zing and some clots in here. But we added zing and we opened up this area. And we did that by paying attention to the histogram and using the highlight clipping warning and the shadow clipping warning. And then using these sliders here that correspond to the histogram. Make sense? Okay, that's one of my favorite tools.